this evening. This is a very, I think, delicate time for us to be having this annual dinner. On the one hand, we are here, all of us are here to celebrate the wonderful relationship between the United States and Korea and the role that all of us played with the Korea Society in promoting that relationship. But this, I know, is a time of sadness in Korea. It's a time of sadness for all of us in America who share Korean sorrow over the tragic loss of life in the ferry accident on April 16. So I'd like to begin this evening with a moment of silence to pay our respects to those who lost their lives and to their families on that tragic accident. Evening at the Korea Society, again by thanking all of you for joining us here, and again invite you to celebrate with us the relationship between our two countries and the role that we all play in bringing that about. We are very honored this evening to have, in addition to our awardees, traditionally we give our Van Fleet Awards to two distinguished Americans and Koreans. This evening we have the Honorable, we have Marilyn Houston, the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Lockheed Martin Corporation. She is here with us this evening. We also we'll be honoring the Lockheed Martin, we'll be honoring the Doosan Corporation. The chairman of Doosan Corporation, Chairman Young Park, was not able to be with us this evening because of the period of mourning in Korea, but he has sent representatives of his country headed by Scott Park here to join us and to receive the award on their behalf. We also have some distinguished guests this evening. We have Foreign Minister Yoon Geum-sae, who is in New York and very happy to join us this weekend. We have, along with the Foreign Minister, we have Ambassador Shin Dong-ik, the Deputy Minister for Multilateral and Global Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have Ambassador Oh Jun, the Korea's permanent representative to the UN in New York, and we have Ambassador Son Se-ju, Consul General, who heads the Korean Consulate General in New York. And I'm pleased to have a former colleague of mine, General Walter Sharp, former Commanding General of Forces in Korea, and his wife Joanne are also here with us this evening. So I'd like to begin by introducing the Foreign Minister, Foreign Minister Yoon. The Foreign Minister also joined us last year at this time, when he was in his early days as Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. He previously served as an advisor for Foreign Affairs, National Defense and Unification in the Presidential Transition Committee to then President-elect Park Geun-hye, and played a crucial role in crafting the trust-building process on the Korean Peninsula. Since joining the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1976, Minister Yoon has served in a number of important posts both at home and abroad, including Deputy Foreign Minister, Deputy Director General for North American Affairs, Minister at the Korean Embassy in Washington, D.C., as well as at the Korean Permanent Mission to the UN in Geneva. From 2006 to 2008, he also served as Senior Presidential Secretary for Foreign Security and Unification Policy. From 2009 to 2012, he was a visiting professor of the Graduate School of International Studies at Sogang University in Korea. In 2013, he was named one of the world's 500 most powerful people by Foreign Policy magazine. He has a bachelor's degree in law from Seoul National University and a master's degree from the School of Advanced International Studies at Johns Hopkins University in Washington. Minister Yoon.
Thank you, Tom, for the kind words addressed to me. Chairman Hobart, President Minton, President Houston, Ambassador Davis, and distinguished guests. At the outset, I'd like to extend my deep gratitude to the American people for the heartfelt condolences and support that were offered to the Korean people following the recent Sewol ferry tragedy. This tragedy once again reminded us that a friend in need is a friend indeed. President Obama shared a moment of silence for the victims prior to the summit with President Park in Seoul. He presented her with the American flag from the White House. A magnolia tree planted on the White House lawn was also presented to Danwon High School in memory of the students who perished. The tree will be a lasting symbol of remembrance of the young students and remind us that their loss will not be in vain. The touching words of sorrow written by the students of Thomas Jefferson High School also comforted the bereaved families. Indeed, all these reflected the true friendship and the enduring alliance between our two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, just 10 days ago, President Obama made his fourth visit to Korea. The fact that Seoul is his most frequently visited foreign capital speaks volumes about the state of Korea-US relations today. Prior to President Obama's visit to Seoul, one high-level US official told us that, quote, Korea is one of the most reliable countries among friends and allies, unquote. Reflecting this atmosphere, President Obama's latest visit to Korea served as a valuable opportunity to review the current status of our alliance and to build our future together. Our two leaders agreed upon a wide range of issues, including pressing security matters, mutually beneficial economic cooperation, a shared vision of a future Korean peninsula, and collaboration on various global agendas. In particular, amid tensions sparked by North Korea's threats of further provocations and of its fourth nuclear test, the two leaders reaffirmed that any further provocation will not be tolerated and will lead only to heightened pressure by the international community. The two presidents also jointly visited the Korea-US Combined Forces Command to reaffirm our combined defense capabilities and review their readiness to counter any and all provocations. It was the first such visit by the two presidents since its creation in 1978. Moreover, in light of the renewed threats by North Korea, the two leaders agreed to reconsider the timing of transferring wartime operational control. Furthermore, the 2+2 talks between our foreign and defense ministers will be held later this year to upgrade our alliance and discuss our shared tasks for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, last September we celebrated in this very room many achievements of our 60-year-old alliance. The outcome of President Obama's recent visit clearly illustrates where we stand in each and every front, as was reflected in the joint fact sheet. It enables us to foresee what the future will hold for our alliance. It highlights our common goals of peace, prosperity, and human dignity. As we look ahead to the next 60 years of the Korea-US alliance, we are expanding the scope of our partnership from security and economic cooperation to today's global partnership in many new areas. It will also be an alliance that will stand as a linchpin of peace and prosperity in the Asia and Pacific. An alliance that will help to bring about the Korean unification. We should not, of course, underestimate the serious challenges we face today on the Korean Peninsula and in Northeast Asia. There will be many challenges on the road ahead. Such challenges include not only increased threats and uncertainties from North Korea, but also history and other issues that are widening the rifts among the nations of Northeast Asia. However, as the saying goes, it is always darkest before the dawn. The grave situation we find ourselves in today could well become an opportunity rather than a crisis. I believe that we have the wisdom and capability to make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know well, this year marks the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, and next year will be the 70th year of the division of the Korean Peninsula. As such, my government is stepping up its efforts to overcome the division of the Korean Peninsula and to pave the way for unification while trying to build sustainable peace. President Park laid out her vision for a unified Korea in Dresden during her visit to Germany last March. Through that speech, she offered 3 concrete and action-oriented proposals to North Korea. That is, to resolve the humanitarian problems of the people of the Korean Peninsula, to build infrastructure for the welfare and prosperity of the Korean nation, and to promote the integration of the Korean people. She also emphasized the need for cooperation from the international community to make the vision of unification a reality, drawing lessons from this German experience. With this in mind, President Park stressed the key principles of unification, that the unification will proceed in harmony with the interests of our neighbors, with the blessing of the international community, and will contribute to the cause of humanity. President Obama also supported the Korean people's desire for unification, expressing his support for President Park's vision laid out in her Dresden address. Beyond the Korean Peninsula, my government will continue to make efforts to transform the existing structure of distrust and conflict into a structure of trust and cooperation in Northeast Asia as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the Korea-US alliance has evolved over the last 60 years in an unprecedented way, thanks to the dedicated people on both sides of the Pacific, devoted to the cause of our alliance. Looking ahead to the next 60 years, we need people like you, the pioneers, filled with imagination and insight. Because of the future we face together, the future of the Korea-US alliance will be quite different from today. For us to better cope with the challenges of tomorrow, we need more than government participation. More than at any other time in the past, the active participation and support of civic and business leaders are essential. It is for this reason that I wish to extend my special appreciation and sincere congratulations to Chairman Park Yong-man of the Tusan Group and President Marilyn A. Hewson of Lockheed Martin. These two recipients of this year's Bentley Award are recognized for their tremendous contributions to the economic cooperation between Korea and the United States. Congratulations to both of you. Finally, I'd like to express my appreciation to the Korean Society for the pioneering role it has played in making possible the best ever relations between US and Korea. Thank you very much.
I thought I heard that the news was going up to South Sudan or something.
Presents programs to Americans about Korea. Of course, the society does evolve, and aside from these traditional aspects of programming, there are some initiatives, and I'd like to just single out three in recent times for your attention. The first is, for a number of years we've had regional programs. That is, the Korea Society has left New York for 2 or 3 days and gone to cities around the U.S. to present programming about Korea in those cities. We've been to nearly a dozen cities in the last 3 years that we've had this program. In the last year, for instance, we've been to Austin, Corpus Christi, Texas. We've been to Tampa in Sarasota, Florida. And just this last week, we were at the University of Montana in Missoula, which is the center of well, that's very important because that's the seat of the Mike Mansfield Center, named for Senator Mansfield, a former Senate Majority Leader and Ambassador to Japan, who had an abiding interest in Korea also. Those of us who knew him knew how interested he was in Korean-American relations. We did a program there last week, and we did a program in Portland, Oregon, which was both policy-oriented and is our practice, also concentrated on the arts. The chairman or curator emeritus of film at the Museum of Modern Art here in New York, and our longtime partner in showing Korean films in New York, Mr. Larry Kardish, who's here with us tonight, joined us in Portland for a wonderful program about cutting-edge Korean films. The popularity of these films has just increased by many times over the last 3 or 4 years. So the regional programs continue and are becoming richer and more detailed and reaching more corners of the United States. Another initiative in the last couple of years I'd like to point out is our online programming. Most of our programs end up online at koreasociety.org now, and if you haven't been there, may I encourage you to look there. 3 years ago or so, we had no programs online. In the last year, videos and podcasts have gotten audiences in the tens of thousands. For instance, just a few statistics. Watched videos of our programs at our website over the last year have been 95,286, for a total of 498,881 minutes. Our podcasts have been downloaded 187,572 times. And our website page has been viewed 391,238 times in the last year. All those figures were 0 4 years ago. You may be interested in knowing, after the United States, our largest audience online is the Republic of Korea, as I'm sure you realize. But interestingly, after that, number 3 is the Philippines. And after that, India. And we get many downloads or hits from those 4 countries continuously. Lastly, although the focus of the Korea Society is programs about Korea in the United States, we increasingly are trying to have a presence in Korea itself periodically. And I'm happy to announce, following our 55th anniversary dinner 2 years ago in Seoul, which was a huge success, this coming fall we will have 2 events in Korea. A golf tournament for our friends and supporters in Korea, which will take place at the Songdo course at this wonderful new business center near Incheon, the beautiful new golf course there. And we will have a policy seminar in Seoul, which is very generously supported by Hyundai. And this will allow us to have a considerably higher profile in Korea than we've been able to have in previous years. That's obviously something we want to continue. Well, my spiel is almost ended here. After one more bit, I will invite you to have dinner, and after about an hour of conversation and dinner, we will resume with our keynote speaker. But before that, I would ask your indulgence for a short video which tries to encapsulate the range of programs that the Korea Society presents. I don't have Kathleen Sebelius in the wings like President Obama, so I hope technically this works. Okay, roll the video. to say that almost every American who flies or knows anything about aviation or technology knows the name Lockheed Martin. And beyond that, there's something very special about the company. It has perhaps the longest and richest history of any American company in Korean-American relations. Lockheed products engaged in some of the first dogfights between jet planes over the Korean Peninsula 50 or 60 years ago. And Lockheed has been involved in the relationship, and specifically the security relationship, ever since. So there's hardly a more serious definition or profound definition of good corporate citizen, especially in terms of U.S.-Korean relations, than Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, of course, is headquartered in Bethesda, Maryland. It's a global security and aerospace company that employs over 115,000 people worldwide. It's engaged in research, design, development, manufacture, integration, sustainment of advanced technology systems and products and services. The corporation in 2013 had over $45 billion in sales. I think that only tells you why it's such an impressive corporation. Its commitment to Korea is rather extraordinary. I think most people in this room understand that the Koreans have chosen Lockheed Martin's F-35 as its, Koreans have chosen this as its next fighter acquisition. And that important arrangement in our security relationship is in the final stages now. But that still doesn't quite explain the depth of Lockheed Martin's involvement in the relationship, because quite voluntarily it's made recently an investment in the long-term partnership. Most of you know that one of the signal points of President Park Geun-hye's policy is to develop Korea as a technology leader and to bring Korea to the next level. Well, Lockheed Martin is so close to Korea that it has bought into that and is launched something called its Rockstar Initiative, in which it will partner with Korean universities to develop both young engineers and new technology. And if those are found, then it will help develop that partnership further between Koreans and Americans under its auspices. And Korea is uniquely the primary beneficiary of this innovative program. So to have Lockheed Martin here tonight, and I think it's here in force, and we appreciate that, and to present them with our award, our Van Fleet Award, later in the evening is a distinct honor. But it's even more of an honor to have their innovative and creative Chairman and President, Marilyn Houston, here. Her own personal record, CV, is almost, or is, as impressive as that of the company she leads. She is, as I said, Chairman, President, and Chief Executive Officer. As President of the Korea Society, I can only aspire or dream about such influence in the organization, but this is the leader of this organization. She has a long record with Lockheed Martin. She has been there for 30 years and has held many positions. Executive Vice President of Global Sustainment. She has been President of Lockheed Martin Logistics Services, Vice President of Global Supply Chain Management, Vice President of Corporate Internal Audit. In other words, almost every job on the way to her current one she has held previously. She's also very active outside the corporation. She is, again, I would think this is a personal example of good corporate citizenship. She's on the board of directors of the Congressional Medal of Honor Foundation, the board of governors of the USO, the board of the National Geographic Education Foundation. She was named by Fortune magazine as one of the 50 most powerful women in business for the past 4 years and was number 4 on the list in 2013. She was named by Forbes as one of the world's 100 most powerful women in 2013. A graduate of the University of Alabama, she has also attended Columbia Business School and Harvard Business School. It is my real privilege to introduce her tonight and to welcome her to the Korea Society and to thank her and Lockheed Martin for their extraordinary commitment to the relationship that the Korea Society serves. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Chairman
Minton, Ambassador O, Ambassador Sun, Mr. Park, distinguished guests and friends. On behalf of the 113,000 men and women of Lockheed Martin, I am honored to join you here tonight for this important celebration. For nearly 60 years, the Korea Society and its heritage organizations have served an important mission: to promote greater awareness, understanding, and cooperation between people of the United States and Korea. And we are proud to be associated with the Korea Society, and we're certainly honored to be here tonight to receive the coveted Van Fleet Award. And while this is an evening of celebration, it comes at a time when Koreans, Americans, and members of the global community are in mourning. We are all deeply saddened by the tragic Sewol ferry accident off the coast of Korea. And it is especially painful that so many of the lives lost were students who had a lifetime potential that will never be realized. The loss of so many bright young kids is simply unimaginable and absolutely heartbreaking. I'm proud to wear my yellow ribbon tonight along with my Lockheed Martin colleagues. And tonight we stand solemnly with our friends and in deepest sympathy to the families of those who were lost. I must say that tragedies like this shine a light on friendships that endure through difficult times. And the bond between the United States and Korea is stronger than ever. And that is what the Korea Society represents. Each year, this gathering celebrates the partnering between our countries, a partnership based on common interest, a common history, and common values. And all of us know that partnership, this particular partnership, was born of necessity and forged through sacrifice. In the early 1950s, as the Cold War turned hot, the U.S. and the Republic of Korea joined together to keep liberty alive. General James Van Fleet was a key part of that effort, leading American soldiers and, as inscribed on the Korean War Memorial, who fought for a country they never knew and a people they never met. And after the smoke had settled and the work of rebuilding a nation started to begin, General Van Fleet founded this society so that Americans could come to know Korea and its people. For Lockheed Martin, those memories are a part of our history too. In the first months of the war, air attacks by Lockheed F-80 Shooting Stars accounted for roughly 75% of enemy losses. In November 1950, Lieutenant Russell Brown of the 51st Fighter Interceptor Wing was piloting a shooting star when he shot down a Chinese MiG-15 in the very first jet versus jet dogfight. Our nation was committed to Korea's security then, and we remain firmly committed to it now, as new and complex threats challenge stability in this region and beyond. Just last month, we held the largest ever joint air drill to strengthen battle readiness on the peninsula. We know from our shared experience that freedom is worth defending. Lockheed Martin is proud to be a longtime partner in supporting Korea's defense, with systems and programs from missile defense to fighter jets, and advanced radar to airlift capabilities. Last month, we were honored by Korea's decision to move forward on the purchase of the F-35 Lightning II, the Joint Strike Fighter. The F-35 is the most technologically sophisticated fighter in history, and we are proud to bring this capability to Korea and continue our partnership in its national defense. Of course, the close relationship between our countries is much broader than national defense. We are partners in building prosperity, peace, and progress around the world. Korea has earned global admiration for its economic and political transformation. Half a century ago, the Republic of Korea was a struggling economy. Today, it is among the wealthiest industrialized nations in the world, a major trading partner of the United States, and a strong and vibrant democracy. Yet rather than rest on its laurels, Korea has committed to give back by playing a leading, responsible role in the community of nations. Korean troops have served in UN peacekeeping missions, from East Timor to Lebanon to Haiti. They've been part of the coalition forces in Iraq and reconstruction teams in Afghanistan. Once a country that welcomed assistance from the American Peace Corps volunteers, today Korea has its own Global Service Corps and collaborates with the Peace Corps to fight poverty and build friendships all around the world. Americans are proud to call Korea an ally, a partner, and a friend. As we look to the future, we know that we can go farther together than we ever could alone. Our countries see opportunities on the horizon as we strive to seize the benefits of this new age while preparing for its challenges. We know that innovation is indispensable to growth, to driving the progress, the discovery, and the achievement that lifts a society and improves people's lives. President Park has championed what she calls a creative economy to drive Korea forward. She has said, and I quote, "Today, the brilliant idea, creative thought, or new technology of a single individual can help move the world and get nations going." Likewise, President Obama's administration is working to unleash innovation as the engine of economic growth at home and competitiveness abroad. Yet sparking creativity and driving innovation is easier said than done. Success depends on vision, purpose, and dedication, not only from our government leaders, but from business and civil society as well. So tonight, I'd like to suggest 3 areas where we should all keep pushing the boundaries, setting bold goals, and chasing the horizons of the next great breakthrough. Education, cooperation, and investment. 3 ways that we can accelerate innovation and partner for mutual success. Let's start with education. Education is where the seeds of innovation take root. And this is the area where the Republic of Korea has set an inspiring standard. Korean students are among the top performers in international rankings, supported by a culture that strongly values educational achievement. Both of our countries are focused on making our educational systems even better, to help equip rising generations with the skills they need to succeed. The good news is that we have exciting new tools to make the most of global possibilities. For example, as global boundaries continue to fall, educational exchange is on the rise. Last year, more than 70,000 South Koreans were studying in the United States. And the number of Americans studying in South Korea increased by more than 8%. Now, technologies have dramatically improved access to education and diversity of perspectives in academia. I recently read about an enterprising young South Korean, Samora Hong, who had taken a business class from the University of Maryland, was studying history in a women's university in Seoul, taking anthropology from Hebrew University in Jerusalem, and starting a course in philosophy at MIT. Talk about global learning. That's the kind of ambitious, creative approach to education that we need in the 21st century. The second way we can accelerate innovation is through international cooperation. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that many ideas grow better when transplanted in another mind than the one where they sprang up. I couldn't agree more. When we break down barriers and share expertise, resources, technology, and discoveries, that's when innovation thrives. We've seen this firsthand. Our international partnerships bring tremendous value to our programs at Lockheed Martin. In Korea, for example, we partner with the Korean aerospace industries to create the T-50 Golden Eagle, the world's only supersonic trainer and light attack aircraft. The T-50 first took to the skies back in the summer of 2002. Today, Lockheed Martin and KAI pardon me, are jointly marketing the aircraft to the United States Air Force as the next U.S. trainer. And we've successfully exported variants to Iraq, Indonesia, and the Philippines. We are committed to continuing to help Korea develop its technological capabilities. For example, we recently reached agreement to upgrade Korea's air traffic management system. As part of that process, we will establish a research and development center to enable technology transfer and in-country software customization. And we're especially excited about a new initiative you heard about from Mark that we've established called Rockstar. It isn't K-pop, and it isn't Gangnam Style, but we hope it will go viral and launch its own Korean wave. Rockstar stands for Republic of Korea Science, Technology, and Research Program. It's a fund to promote aerospace R&D in Korean universities and to nurture entrepreneurship that will fuel the creative economy. We're really thrilled about working with Korea's talented young men and women as they use advanced technology and engineering to tackle our most pressing challenges. Building off that example, the last way that I think we really can accelerate innovation is by making the right investments. The great inventor, Thomas Edison, once said, "The value of an idea lies in the using of it." And we know from experience that innovation depends on a climate of encouragement and support. Smart investments can mean the difference between an idea that changes the world and one that simply withers on the vine. Earlier this year, we saw an example of smart investment in action in this country as the White House announced the launch of 2 new manufacturing innovation institutes. One in Detroit that will focus on manufacturing lightweight and modern metals, and the other is a Chicago-based consortium that will concentrate on digital manufacturing and design technologies. Lockheed Martin will be active in both, together with other leading organizations. I know that President Park is pursuing similar ideas. By 2015, she's pledged to establish innovation centers in 17 cities across Korea, combining regional and national government support with private sector ingenuity and know-how. And in the critical area of research and development, where Korea is already a leader, the government has committed to raise R&D spending to 5% of GDP. Korea understands that even in challenging economic times, devoting resources to innovation today can pay far greater dividends tomorrow, strengthening economies, opening up new possibilities, and making the world a better place. So these are the accelerators: education, cooperation, and investment. They drive innovation, and they will shape a future even prouder than our past. We have decades of partnership to build on, and unlimited possibilities in front of us. And in that spirit, let me end with a story, looking back and looking ahead. Some of you may know that 130 years ago, Thomas Edison was hired to bring the first electric lighting plant to Korea. The powerhouse was completed at the King's Palace in Seoul in 1887. At the time, it was the most advanced technology anyone could imagine. People thought of Thomas Edison as a visionary, the so-called Wizard of Menlo Park. Yet even Edison would have marveled at what we see today and what we're capable of doing today, and just as astonishing at how Korea now stands as a vanguard of technological change. More than a century ago, it was American innovation that helped illuminate Korea. Today, Korean innovation is helping enlighten the world. And I am convinced that working together, we can accelerate more breakthrough innovations and make the 21st century the time of hope, progress, and prosperity. Thank you.
To bestow our Van Fleet Awards on two very honorable people who have contributed greatly to the relationship between the United States and Korea. I think we've already had a warm introduction of Marilyn Hewson, who's given us her remarks. Let me start this part of the evening by introducing the Doosan Group as an awardee, and to provide a bit of background on Doosan. I've always thought of the Doosan Group as the largest Korean company that most Americans have never heard of. Sell consumer products or day-to-day products in its own name. But in fact, Doosan has made a major investment in the American economy and is very much a presence in the United States. As I mentioned earlier, he felt it was not appropriate to come here during this time of mourning, but he has eagerly accepted my invitation to come back and speak to the Korea Society in a subsequent dinner or some other group, and we would warmly welcome him. Mr. Park, Mr. Youngman Park, has been at the forefront of the transformation of the Doosan Group from really a consumer product group to a very important player in the global heavy machinery world and energy world. Mr. Park has led over 42 deals, including acquisitions and divestitures of businesses as part of the strategic drive to overhaul Doosan's business portfolio, turning Doosan from a consumer goods company to an infrastructure support business focused enterprise. Please give my regards to
the Doosan Group Chairman, Mr. Park Yong-man. I'd like to thank the Korea Society for such a prestigious award. He would like to convey his apologies for not attending this event. As you know, with the recent tragedy in Korea, he didn't feel appropriate for him to be attending this event. He did, however, want me to convey just one note, one message, and that is that Korea and the United States of America are really of similar minds, beliefs, and values. And this has led to an unprecedented, decades-long collaboration and cooperation. He feels very honored to be recognized as one of the leaders of this special relationship. And
1,000 men and women of Lockheed Martin for this prestigious award. It really means a lot to us to be associated with the name Van Fleet, because our mission and our work is very much associated with supporting our nation's military as well as our allies and friends' military around the world. And so it means a lot to us. We also are certainly honored by the Korea Society to recognize us in such a way. As I said earlier, we have a long-standing partnership with Korea. We look forward to continued success in that relationship going forward. And I want to say that, you know, we are certainly privileged to share this honor with Doosan Group, and because this is a company that has tremendous accomplishments and vision that go back over a century.